Madam Speaker, I have a motion to recommit at the desk.
Is the gentleman opposed to the bill?
I am in its present form, Madam Speaker.
The gentleman qualifies. The clerk will report the motion.
Mr. Green of Tennessee moves to recommit the bill H.R. 2203 to the Committee on Homeland Security with instructions
To dispense with reading.
Is there objection to dispensing?
Dispensing with the reading. That objection, reading is dispensed with. Gentlemen, suspend. Pursuant to the rule, the gentleman from Tennessee is recognized for 5 minutes in support of his motion.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Over 180 jurisdictions in the United States, including our most populated cities and states, have passed laws prohibiting local law enforcement from cooperating with federal immigration officials. In these sanctuary jurisdictions, local law enforcement is barred from complying with lawful detainers from Immigration and Customs Enforcement. An ICE detainer is a notice to another law enforcement agency that ICE intends to assume custody of an illegal alien. It includes information on their criminal history. The Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals found that ICE administrative warrants, which unlike criminal warrants are not issued by a judge, are in fact sufficient to detain in a county jail someone whom ICE might deport, even if they've been granted bail or their charges have been dropped. Madam Speaker, there are many accounts of innocent men and women and children murdered, raped, or assaulted by criminal aliens released by sanctuary cities that refuse to comply with the ICE detainer. In March 2018, ICE lodged a detainer on Martin Gallardo, a Mexican national, in the country illegal after locating him in an Oregon County jail. Jail officials did not honor the immigration detainer and released the convicted criminal. 7 months later, he was arrested again, this time for killing his wife. In February 2019, police in San Jose, California, arrested Carlos Carranza, a Salvadoran, who had entered our country illegally in the brutal slaying of a 59-year-old woman that he just noticed on the street. Carranza had an extensive criminal record, having been arrested half a dozen times for assault, battery, and burglary. ICE lodged 7 detainers with local California authorities, yet every single time, local authorities released him without notifying ICE, and now a mother of 2 is dead. Sadly, I could go on and on with these horrible true stories. The facts are undeniable. Sanctuary cities constitute a threat to public safety. Meanwhile, as this body fails to act, the number of victims continues to grow. We're a nation of laws, and we must uphold our laws and not reward state and local officials who deliberately and flagrantly disregard the laws of this body. When I was a state senator in Tennessee, we addressed the problem. I authored a bill and added teeth to our sanctuary city laws, anti-sanctuary city laws, so that any city that would choose to ignore the law would lose their state economic funding. It's time for Congress to act. Despite all of our disagreements, all this bill does is allow the victims to be heard. That's it. It requires the ombudsman created by this bill to collect their stories and the data on these victims. Under this amendment, any victim of a crime committed by an illegal immigrant in a sanctuary jurisdiction can safely and securely file a report with the ombudsman. This allows victims and their families an opportunity to be heard by policymakers in Congress and by the Department of Homeland Security. Why would we not let the victims be heard? The ombudsman will analyze reporting patterns, make recommendations on how we can decrease these incidences. This amendment would at least provide an outlet for the growing number of victims and their families to ensure that their stories are told. Hopefully, we will act tonight on behalf of the victims. Madam Speaker, I yield back.